Hey guys, Charles from Halt's Boots here, and today we are doing the full on-foot review of the new Adidas Crazylight Plus. Okay, so it's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks since I did the initial review. And you know, I have nothing but great things to say about these boots. This has probably been my favorite or second favorite boot to review so far. And just everything about this boot is amazing. And I'm just gonna kind of go over, break it down, starting from the sole plate, working our way up, and kind of just talk you guys through how awesome these boots are and why I honestly think that you should purchase these. So for starters, real quick, before I get into the sole plate and tech specs and everything, I did learn that Adidas is now going to a 3 top boot model system, at least I think. So the new Crazy Fast that came out, and I'll throw a photo up here, it is going to be like the Crazy Fast 0.1, there's gonna be the Crazy Fast LL, which stands for laceless, and they've actually done LL in, I wanna say Asia. They have, their boots will say LL. Like I have a pair of Turf Adidas X 18 or 19 pluses on the website on haltsboots.com, and they actually say LL instead of plus. So that's kind of interesting that they're doing that, but there's gonna be a LL or laceless version, and then there's also going to be the ultralight version, which I don't know if it's actually called ultralight, but it's gonna be exactly like these boots. And I've seen the launch colorway of the Crazy Fast in this exact like style. Maybe it's slightly different, but I've seen the color leaked already. So that makes me think that we're gonna be getting 3 different like top end models of these boots. And I could be wrong. It's really kind of hard to get information when nobody's really talking about this, you know, when nobody else has put reviews out, like bigger retailers, and you know, when Adidas themselves hasn't said anything. So this is just kind of speculation going off of what I've seen, but I just kind of want to let you guys know and get it out there. So I think that's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea, but it's just, you know, something to know. So moving on to the sole plate, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it just because it's the same that's on the Speed Portal and a couple of the remakes. You know, it doesn't have the Carbitex. It is the Speed Frame sole plate, as it says here on the bottom, and you know, it doesn't have the Carbitex, and it's called the Aero plate, even though it still says Speed Frame. So at least that's what J-Mike says. So I'm going off of that, and you know, it is what it is. I don't think it's a big change. It did its job. I think it's a good sole plate for AG. I will still stand by this, you know, and I'll throw some better like photos up and stuff, but you know, it's not really aggressive studs. You know, they're kind of triangular, but and they may be slightly long, but I had no issue with this on turf. It performed very, very well. Overall, a really, really nice sole plate. So moving on to this ultralight upper, it's actually a different texture than that's on the Crazy Fast 0.1, because I just dropped the Crazy Fast 0.1 review yesterday, 2 days ago, as of filming this video. So the textures are slightly different, so that, I mean, obviously this is gonna be the lighter weight version, so we'll see if that carries forward, but you know, it's got a nice, like very, like, not rough like sandpaper, but just kind of like a sandpaper-y texture, sandpaper-ish texture, if you will. And I really, really liked it. You know, the paint kind of started chipping on these immediately. And one thing, which I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see on these, but I mean, if you see on the red part, it looks like smoky. And originally, I forgot to mention this in the first review out of the box of these, but I thought that I got something on the boots, and I was really freaking out, like how did I get water? But no, that's just how the boots come, and I guess it's kind of a cool texture. I think they just kind of did it for effect, maybe, unless it's the thin texture they use, just kind of comes like that. So that was kind of interesting thing that I forgot to mention. But you know, overall, this upper did very, very well, and it's still holding its shape almost perfectly. I was kind of worried that it wouldn't do that with how lightweight it is, but I really prefer this kind of lightweight material over the current Speed Portals material, and I've yet to try the Crazy Fast out, but it's a similar material, so I am excited for that. And this upper performed very, very well. I think that it didn't really provide a great grip on the ball in terms of like a rubber grip element. However, I really did feel like I could really feel the ball. I didn't really have any issues of where I felt like the ball was getting away from me, or there was any sort of disconnect between my foot, the upper, and the ball, if that makes sense. And you know, again, it did a very good job. I didn't have any issues with this heel liner either. I really like this less voluminous or the less amount of padding, I guess, in the heel as well. That was very comfortable. And you know, these boots are also very comfortable. I don't want to like skip ahead or anything, but you know, they just fit my feet well. And so I think that's what we're gonna move on to next. We're gonna just move on to the fit. So as for the fit of these boots, I went with my typical 9 US, and there was a little bit of extra room in the toe for you players who are unlucky like me, who kind of float between an 8.5 and a 9, or between one size and another by a half size, I would say go with whatever size I guess you normally get, instead of like trying to go down half a size, if that makes sense. That's what I did. I went with my typical 9. A little bit of room in the toe, wasn't a big deal. This material stretched very, very well for my wide feet. I did not have any pain whatsoever when wearing these boots. The only pain I really got is because I've just been playing so much and reviewing as many boots as I can, so I've had pain from that, but nothing related to these boots at all. So the fit was great. For wide feet, you shouldn't have to worry. I think that having wide feet might actually stretch the boot out a bit more and might kind of just end up with some sole separation on the side, just because of this kind of lightweight, ultra lightweight boot is. It just kind of comes, it's the name of the game when you get these lighter boots. However, I think it did a great job, and I think that so far they held up pretty well. So again, fit was great. Like I said, they're pretty comfortable boots, fit my wide feet well. And I talked a little bit about the heel liner earlier, but you know, the heel liner was really decent as well, and I didn't feel like there was too much back there, and I had 0 blisters. So no complaints from me there whatsoever. If we want to move on to lockdown, I kept the thin laces in. I didn't go with the thicker laces. If the Crazy Fast does come out with the lightweight version as well, then I'm gonna pick up another pair and I'll switch laces and do it then. But even though these were thin laces, I felt they held my foot in place pretty well, because of how like thin and pliable this tongue is. I mean, you can see it's basically just paper. It did slide a little bit, nothing crazy, but when you have wide feet, your tongue is gonna slide. When the tongue is this thin and has no structure whatsoever, it's just there to exist, it's gonna happen as well. But that really didn't deter me or my experience. And other than that, you know, again, the lockdown was great. I didn't have any issues cutting. It's a speed boot, so that's something that you want if you're a player who really is, you know, attacking, making lots of cuts and whatnot, 1v1ing. And so again, no real issues there either. Lockdown was great. And again, just another great thing about this boot, you know, nothing to worry about there either. So we're gonna end off with durability. And you know, one thing I was talking about in the unboxing was, because it's a lightweight boot, I wasn't gonna hold my breath or expect them to stay together. And you know, I wore these boots probably 3 to 5 hours, so not a crazy amount of time to be wearing boots, but enough to where if you had a speed boot or like the ultra light, like 99 gram boots, and the Pumas that are super ultra lightweight, you see lots of sole separation and ripping and everything above there. And honestly, I had nothing. The only real issue I had is on the toe here, like, and it's not even like on the toe, like down here, it's like up here, just, you know, someone caught me with a stud and it scraped the paint a little bit. So, I mean, that happens with boots regardless. You're gonna have some paint scraped, or, you know, the decals fudged a little bit. But, you know, again, that's for a speed boot to catch a stud and survive. Like I was saying also that I thought if it caught a stud, it would explode. It did its job well. So again, you know, holding together well for what they are. Yeah, there's still, I'm looking everywhere on this boot and there's absolutely no signs of separation. I don't know if it's just the way this sole plate is. I feel like when I was looking at the sole plate in a couple other boots, like the Speed Portal, the 99 gram leather Speed Portal, you could just see that it looks like the upper like attaches deeper inside the sole plate. So I don't know if that's just, wow, this is a really good boot and it's put together well, or if it's the sole plate. I didn't really wear my Speed Portals long enough to see any sort of real tear. So that could be a biased opinion there, or like kind of just like a whatever you want to call it. But you know, durability is there as well. So again, just, I keep saying it, but this boot is something different, and I really, really enjoyed this boot. So to give this boot an overall rating, I'm gonna go with a solid 9 out of 10. This boot really blew me out of the water. You know, I like the 99 gram leather a lot, and so to get another kind of like, not quite like remake, but you know, kind of a shout out to a different boot from the past, I was excited again. And they just didn't disappoint. And I really was not expecting to really like this boot that much. And I said it so many times in this review, but it really just performs next level there. And there's really nothing holding this boot back. I really like the sole plate. It's good for turf or grass. You know, the upper is amazing. It's thin, but it's still holding together quite well. You know, the lockdown is there. I didn't try the other laces, but you know, it's just, again, it's a great boot. A 9 out of 10 rating is about the best I can give it before, you know, it would just need to be like lightweight and K-leather, I guess, to be similar to the 11 Pros. I mean, it is a really, really great boot. 9 out of 10, again, is a huge rating for me. So that's what I'm gonna leave you guys with. Definitely, if you can find these, pick them up. I mean, the colorway alone is insane, but if they do actually make this ultralight model like consistent, then I think, again, it's a boot that you need to pick up and try. I know it's $300, which is a bit much, especially for a pair of boots when you could buy something that's gonna last you a lot longer than a lightweight boot will, but if you want to splash the dough and try a really great boot, I gotta say, it's gotta be this one. So I'm gonna say, guys, the F50 is back. And I didn't really talk about the F50 at all in this review, but it's really just giving me those 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14 vibes of the Adi Zeros, and it really doesn't get much better than that in terms of speed boots. So I'm glad we're starting to see like progress backwards, if that makes sense. Like we're getting better, but we're going to like the old feel of how the speed boots used to be. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to see what the rest of the future is gonna hold for the X's now that they're starting to be more like this. But again, that's all I got for you guys. So please make sure to leave a comment down below. I usually respond and I really like talking to you guys. So just drop a comment. Let me know, did you like these boots? Are you gonna pick up a pair? Do you think they're overrated or too expensive? Stuff like that. And with that, guys, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next review.